Hey everyone, Stephen here, your friendly CTO from OrConfig, back with you for another tutorial video. We're really getting out the tutorial videos this week. We've got so much going on with the release of version 7.2, which as of this video, we literally pushed to production just a couple of minutes ago. So anybody running V7 Professional, any version, go ahead and get yourself upgraded to v7.2 and check out the cool new features on that. There's also a bunch of videos on this channel on version 7.2, so I'd advise checking them out as well before you get upgraded. This video I want to focus on our CIC definition feature, what that's all about, and some of the changes that have come about as of v7.2.0. So CIC, previously known as EOC. Let me describe what this is very quickly. So here I am in the OrConfig UI. So if I click on configurations and CIC definitions, and right in here, let me turn on my cool little yellow highlighter from my mouse. Right in here, you'll see the description. This used to be known as EOC definitions. I can't even remember. I think it was the end of 6 where we introduced this feature. So EOC, now known as CIC, and I'll describe the reason for the change in a moment, is this simply a peace of mind feature. In the world of NCM, we're plagued by an issue where SSH and Telnet are protocols designed for human use. And so we have to build NCMs to pretend like they're humans to interact with a CLI. We'll often know from using NCMs for most of our careers that sometimes you get full configurations, sometimes you get partial configurations. Sometimes you log in to get a configuration because you have a device down, you want to restore it, and there's nothing there, right? So we've been plagued with that issue in the past. And so CIC is a way to ensure that what is downloaded from a device is as complete as you expect it to be, in which case we mark it green. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to one of my devices here. You'll see I've got seeded devices in the inventory with no config. So I'm just going to go to router 3, which is an SSH connection. There is no configurations here, and I'm just going to do a download. So this will get 3 command outputs. It'll get a show clock, a show run, and a show version. It's finished, so if I refresh here, and I've got 3, okay? Now, first thing to notice is 2 of those are green and 1 is yellow. The reason 2 of those are green, it's very explicit, is because I have disabled CIC checks for those commands in commands. You can do that because remember, it's a peace of mind thing. You don't really, if I am backing up a show version, I don't really want to back up or do a CIC check on a show version. It's kind of like, that's nice to have. Great, I can back it up. Do I want to check it every time I get it? I'm not going to restore it. It's active state of a device. I can't restore it. It's useful to have. So I don't need to do a CIC check on it. But a show run, I do want to do a CIC check. Let's untick this real quick. Let's do a download again. Let's see what it looks like. It should come back yellow. And then I'm going to retick it, and then I'm going to show you a CIC definition. So that's running. It's finished. I'm going to refresh, and it came back yellow because it's unknown. OrConfig does not know the state. It's taking a guess. It's okay. It's not fully errored. There was no faults with it. If I look at it using my new peak feature, I've got a show version. If I see my config register, it's a Cisco device I've got. So I've got a full one, right? But I've no way of validating it. I don't really want to validate it. It's cool. There's no issues. I have it. It's a nice to have. What I do want to validate, and let me turn that back on for fun, right? Turn it off, in fact. So I'm going to turn off CIC checks for show version, but I'm going to leave it on for the show run. Let's go back to my device. We'll do another quick download, and then we're going to do our CIC check. And if I do a refresh here, and I've got my show version showing a good status again. So perfect. Now, the lazy thing to do is go into commands and turn off CIC checks for all of your commands. And I say lazy, not in a kind of derogatory way, but like you probably do at least for your configurations specifically, you would want to do a CIC check. For your active state of devices, show CDP neighbors, show LLDP neighbors, show IP route, You may or may not want to. It's at your discretion. It's just a recommendation to at least spend a few minutes doing a CIC check for your configurations. So we're going to do one now for the show run. And simply go to configurations, open CIC definitions. Now, version 7.2 comes with a new format for CIC definitions and policy definitions. I'm not even going to focus on the old one. I'm just going to tell you how we're doing it going forward. So the configuration identity integrity check. So it used to be called EOC check, and that was a bit kind of um, nebulous, right? Because it was like end of config. Does that mean I have to use the last line? No, it's kind of anywhere you can define anywhere in the config, as long as you're satisfied that you match that line of text in the config and you have the output you expect. That's why we renamed it to a config integrity check instead of an end of config check. Okay, you'll see what I mean here. So if I click new CIC definition, so there's this new policy format. It's quite simple. I'm just putting in a description here. That's not required, so I'm just going to take that out. I'm going to put in my policy method. Now for most CIC checks, they are going to be as simple as this. If you need more information on the methods and different things, click here to learn how to build a policy definition. All of the information, all of the various methods are in here, including our new must match regex method. I'm going to keep this nice and simple. So the must match single string must match an entire line of text. Okay, and what you will see here is we're looking for a line VTY04, which is near the end of the config, but not the end of the config. It's good enough for me, and it's unique enough in Cisco devices to be able to say, look, if I get this in the config, I can have nearly everything, right? Or everything I should have. Okay, so we'll name it. We'll call it show run CIC version 1. I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can apply this to a device or a command group. I'm going to apply it to a command group. I'm going to apply it to the entire routers command group. And then I'm going to apply it to my show run. Now, cool about this, if you did decide, let's say, you wanted to do a CIC check on your show IP routes, you can do that, right? That you can do it across any config output you want. I'm just saying it's discretionary. It's up to you. So I click show run and I click save. Let's validate we have what we expected with our quick peek. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Now, the expectation now is the next time I do a download, because I've applied this to the routers command group, to the show run for the command for that command group, the next time we do a download for that particular command, it's going to evaluate against this. It's going to attempt to see if the output from the device matches this. Any output has this line in it, and if it does, it will mark it good. So let's test it. If I go to devices, router 3, we still have our show run in an unknown state. And look, let me just check something here real quick. If I do a quick peek on this, I have my line VTY4. It could be any other line. It could be any line you determine, right? But I'm just picking this one for ease, let's say. So I know we're getting it, so it should pass, right? So if I do a download now, give this a second. It's usually very quick. And download finished. And if I do a refresh, and we're green. So this is good. This means that the EOC check A ran when the configuration was downloaded, and B passed the test because, oops, wrong one, because it found this string in the check. So that's it. In summary, CIC checks are really useful to give you peace of mind that the configuration that you downloaded from a device is what you expected. So the NCM or config did its job. I think we're the only NCM doing this, so it's quite unique. It's a tiny piece of work for peace of mind, so it's worth doing. On our new doc site, you can see a whole piece here on CIC definitions. the rationale for changing from end of config to CIC config integrity check, and also information on how to build, where is it? How to build the new policy format. There's a further document down here which describes the new policy definition format in detail. Okay, so that's all I wanted to share. Thanks a lot, folks. See you next time.